We are the team from Americanish. Americanish is a film about three American Muslim Pakistani women figuring out love, life, and career in New York City. And my name is Iman. I am the director and producer of the film.
Hi, my name is Aizzah, and I am the writer, producer, and one of the actors in the film.
Hi, my name is Roy. I'm one of the producers of the film.
And I'm Paul. I'm the other producer of the film.
Woohoo!
So the inspiration for this film comes from a one-woman show that I wrote and I've been performing for 10 years all over the world. It's a comedy called Dirty Packy Lingerie. It's a little bit risque. We just took, Iman and I met a few years ago, so we took like 4 of the female characters from this play with 6 characters, and we just turned that into the feature film. So the mom and the 3 girls, and we just built a story around them in New York.
Yeah, so I'm a comedic director, and Aizzah is also a comedic actress as well. And I think that comedy is the best avenue to address issues in our society, in our world, because when someone laughs, they're able to break down the barriers and they're able to learn from the experience. So comedy is the way that I deal with things and the way that I would like to tell the story. And romantic comedies, I'm a huge fan of romantic comedies. They haven't been around, they kind of have died down. And so we were like, we're gonna make a romantic comedy. I was so inspired by Aizzah's play, and I was like, this is the perfect thing for us to tell, especially empowering American Muslim women through storytelling. Coming to America and Eddie Murphy are also huge inspirations for me, and I really wanted to bring that story into our film. And I was a little bit concerned about, kind of drawing that line of like racism and then joy at the same time. But actually, that's how we have to deal with it. That's how I dealt with it growing up brown in the South, is that you're like, damn, that was racist. Well, here we go. You're like kind of going through, just like Dave Chappelle says. So I was really trying to make sure we kind of worked through the racism, learning, but then also seeing the joy that we live as people of color in our country. And Godfrey and Shanaz were so amazing, kind of playing it through. And Godfrey brought so much to that character and improv'd a lot in that scene as well, which was really amazing.
It's a random pick, really. I mean, it really is. I was like, what's the easiest thing they could be doing? It's not going to be cooking biryani. That's very extensive. So I was like, what's super easy is just milk, yogurt, mangoes done in a blender. Honestly, that was like the only pick. And I mean, I do enjoy me some mango lassi.
I love me mango lassi. So
yeah. I think everyone who's ever had it enjoys it. And I was like, it's just an easy pick. Yeah. I think the crew got introduced to a lot of desi stuff. When we're shooting in the, there's like these pickled things that you can get. They're very like, I don't know, tangy and spicy. And it's like pickled pickles and pickled mangoes and pickled hot peppers. And so some of the crew was like buying this stuff from the grocery store, and they were like, how do you eat this? What do you eat it with? So I was like educating them on it. So I think people were actually buying stuff from the grocery store because they had never seen it before. So it was kind of exciting.
Yeah.
I would say no in terms of like filming, but certainly an important part of the film was in the Twitters, because as we were editing, right, the film, we were also following what was happening in the world, in New York City, in the United States, and the rest of the world. So if you do watch the film and you look at the tweets, you're going to notice some important things.
They're
I would say,
actually
right?
true to life. Some of the tweets are taken from what a certain president was saying and doing at the time. Believe it or not, they're very close to the reality, of the situation, because that was very important to kind of set this film against the backdrop of really what was happening racially and culturally at that time in America and New York City in particular.
Yeah, and how to make it accessible, and that there comes the rom-com and all that stuff that they've been talking about.
I don't know if I put it out there. George is amazing. He was so excited to be about a part of this story and this journey. Literally the nicest guy in the entire world. He totally understood the character. He totally understood where we're going, and he was totally on our side of like what's happening. And he was such an amazing actor to work with, because just directing him, he would give me multiple options on like which way to go, and would take it so well. I mean, it was just such a joy to work with him, and an honor. Yeah, of course. So Annie Simon is our costume designer, and she was very thoughtful in creating so much. Like, we talked through so many different color tones and boards and all of these things, because she was wanting to make sure that everybody had a different type of color scheme going throughout. But for our Pakistani outfits, it was like a lot of our executive producer Ann Chaudhry's, Aizzah's clothes. I mean, we were just pulling things. My friend from Florida shipped an entire 3 boxes of her clothes up so that we could use those that Shanaz was wearing as well. So we wanted to make sure that was really true to the culture, and so that was kind of all within us in that sense. Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of pushback. And I think it's so interesting that you asked the question about it being a rom-com, and I think we kind of fell into that genre logically because there's so much pressure, I think, within our community on women, young girls, older girls, everyone in between, to get married. So whether we wanted it or not, it was always going to fall into this, but to be honest, like I feel like this is a bit of an anti-rom-com to what really is out there right now in the market, because I think our message is like, be your own woman and be there for yourself first, discover who you are, and then if the right partner comes along, fine. But if it doesn't, you don't need it. So I think that for Maryam is it's like such an important story to me. We recently had a screening in New York, and there was an older lady who came up to me afterwards, must be like my mom's age maybe, and she was saying, like, she said, my older sister always had her own mind, and it was very difficult for her within our family to do the things that she wanted to do because we as a society don't support it. So she said that there were some themes and characters that really resonated to her in the film because these girls were all trying to be their own people, and I think at the end of the day, like, things are definitely changing. We've had other screenings where parents were like, our daughters are showing us the way how to be, and like, it's really moving to see like older people with like kids in their 20s, 30s, like saying like, oh, we're learning from our kids. So I think it gives us all hope.
Yeah, and also on the flip side is that, I grew up not being told, to get married. And so did I, like, it was like, we're told to be independent. And so this concept that you think that these Muslim women have to do this is actually not the way that we were raised, especially as American Muslim women. So we shouldn't think of like, oh, that's a kind of a twist on what it is. It was a twist on the narrative that we're being forced as, but not as who we are as American Muslim women.
Well, but I also think like marriage is forced on girls. I grew up in the South in Mississippi, and everyone I knew was like either
not just Muslim girls.
Every girls in general. Like girls were like either marrying their sweetheart out of college or the sweetheart from in college at 22, and if you weren't married by 22 or 23, it was like, what's wrong with you? And we're talking about, I didn't grow up with brown people, I grew up with all white people and black people, so I'm talking about white and black people. There's this pressure on young girls everywhere to just like, maybe not in the super big cities, but still in the rest of America. So so that kind of pressure is very much real.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be pigeonholed to rom-coms, even though I am shooting a rom-com series and a rom-com feature again next year. But my second feature is actually not a rom-com. It's more of a like a Muslim version of Superbad that Paul and I are writing together. That's my passion project that I want to direct. So fund that, someone. It'd be really great.
Yes. Fund that, someone.
So yes, but I mean, telling American Muslim stories is my biggest thing as a director.
There's a lot of in-jokes, and it's interesting like how different things resonate with different audiences. The inside jokes do resonate with that Muslim audience, but then this film also resonated when we were in Arkansas with the all-white, sort of an older skewing audience, and they were laughing at so many of the jokes in there. So I kind of, like that there's something in this film for everyone.
Yeah, for sure. And if you love rom-coms and love feel-good comedies, you're going to really love this film, and connect with us and let us know how you liked it. Thank you so much.